You might want to move to a new city, but you want to make sure it's a safe place to live. If you want to find the safest towns, you don't have to look any further than this list. The Safe Cities Index is a study that was made by the Economist Intelligence Unit. The study compares 60 different places based on 76 different factors that have to do with personal, digital, and environmental safety. As is the case with most rankings of quality of life and safety, Scandinavian cities are once again in the top 10, and Australia stands out with 2 places on the list. Number 10. Stockholm. Stockholm is one of the safest places in the world for many reasons, but the most important one is that it has a lot of police officers. You won't find a police officer stationed at every corner, but whenever their help is needed, the officers always seem to show up quickly. The second thing to think about is how well lit the streets are. Since Stockholm is a very dark city in the winter, a lot of money's been spent to make sure that the streets are well lit, lights are well maintained, and people rarely have to walk down dark or badly lit streets. These things have been done to make sure that people don't have to walk down streets that are dark or badly lit. A strong regulatory framework is also in place for the transportation industry. Pickpocketing and other minor crimes don't happen very often, but when they do, they're always carefully looked into and dealt with in the right way. Number 9. Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a city with a highly developed economy and a very low crime rate across the whole region. It has been part of the country's rich cultural history for a long time to welcome expats and foreign workers. That doesn't mean there isn't some wrongdoing going on. Thefts, attacks, and break-ins happen in the city just like they do in any other big city, and organized crime is a problem there. On the other hand, crime isn't too bad and has been going down. Many people who live in Hong Kong say they don't feel unsafe when they go out alone late at night. Also, the public transportation system is open until late at night, and some of the vehicles run at night as well. Number 8. Melbourne. Melbourne is the capital of the state of Victoria and the second most populous city in Australia. It has a lot of museums and art spaces, which is why it's called Australia's cultural capital. People from Melbourne are known for their friendly attitudes, readiness to help others, and desire to have fun. Public transportation in Melbourne is usually safe, but the empty stations on the edges of the city can give the idea that they're unsafe. The city of Melbourne has put in place a number of precautions and safety measures to make sure that its people are safe and healthy. Even if tourists say they're made to feel welcome and comfortable in the city, it's still best for them to stay in places that have surveillance cameras. Number 7. Wellington. People usually agree that New Zealand is one of the safest countries in the world and that Wellington, the country's capital, is one of the safest towns in the world. People who come to the neighborhood don't have to worry about being a victim of small crime. Because anything can happen to anyone, anywhere, and at any time, it's important to take common sense measures to protect yourself, since anything can happen to anyone. On the other hand, it's not likely that someone in Wellington will be a victim of crime. It's safe to walk around Wellington at any time of day or night, and it's usually safe to hail a taxi at any time of day or night, though bigger cab companies are better. Number 6. Amsterdam. Amsterdam is often visited by a large number of tourists because it's one of the most well-known cities in Europe. People from all over the world come to this city to see the sights, enjoy the exciting nightlife, and maybe even try out some of the city's most famous vices. The city's easy to get around because it has good public transportation, a lot of places to rent bikes, and a lot of bike paths. If you need help, there are many people who speak English who can help you. Visitors can choose from a wide range of hotels and hostels that are clean and safe. Most of Amsterdam's neighborhoods are safe enough to walk around in even if you're by yourself. You shouldn't go to places like the red light district after dark. During the day, many different kinds of people go there, but after dark, some might think it could be dangerous. Number 5. Tokyo. Everyone knows that the general crime rate in Japan is very low and is one of the lowest in the world. This is a rule that even the city of Tokyo can't break. People often walk home alone at very late hours of the night without worrying about getting hurt because there aren't many risky places. Japanese society places a lot of importance on treating other people and their things with respect. This means that if you leave your wallet on a park bench, your phone on the subway, or your purse in a store, you can probably get it back without any damage. Leaving your bag at a store is another example. There are a lot of people living in Tokyo. In most towns with this many people, you shouldn't walk around at night or take public transportation. But keeping an eye out is important for safety in this city, just as it is in any other big city. Number 4. Sydney. Sydney is home to people from all over the world. This makes it one of the most accepting and culturally diverse places in the world. Sydney is Australia's financial and economic powerhouse. It has many famous sites, beautiful natural scenery, and great places to eat. There are also companies and job opportunities in the city. People in Australia are known for being very friendly and helpful, and you can always count on getting a warm welcome wherever you go. Most of the time, you'll feel safe and welcome if you join one of Sydney's many active and diverse communities, which include people from different economic, social, and cultural backgrounds. Still, bad things can and do happen sometimes. Staying consistently alert and being very careful are the best ways to stay out of harm's way when you're moving around Sydney or the surrounding area. Number 3. Singapore. Singapore is a great place to live because it's both safe and clean. You can go anywhere in Singapore on your own at any time of year, no matter what gender you are. Almost all Singaporeans, except for a small number of older people, speak English as their first language. Anyone who lives in the city can help you find your way. There are a lot of clean restrooms, places to eat, and places to shop to choose from. Taxis are cheap and cab drivers are trustworthy because there are no secret costs. The price on the meter is the price you pay, and you can refuse to pay more if the driver asks you to. All of these things contribute to the fact that Singapore is a safe place to live. Number 2. Toronto. Toronto is the most populous city in Canada and one of the most populous towns in North America, even though it's not the capital city. In spite of this, Toronto is not Canada's city. People from so many different countries and ethnicities live in Toronto that the city is often called one of the most culturally diverse places in the world. But there are a lot of other great things about Toronto that make it a great place to live. Given that this city is a center for business, the arts, and money, it shouldn't be a surprise that it's thought to be one of the best in the world. Even though there have been reports of pickpocketing here and there, the number of cases is still much smaller than in other parts of the world. If you want to get around the city, it's smart to use both taxis and public transportation as much as possible. Number 1. Copenhagen. One of the main reasons why Copenhagen is ranked so highly for safety is that there aren't many crimes there. It's a city that's proud of its top-notch police force that's highly savvy and well-equipped. Also, Denmark is a pretty open country, and its people can go wherever they want, regardless of whether they're part of a minority group or not. People think that the city's relatively even spread of wealth is a big part of why it's so safe. It's the kind of place where the maid's aide and the CEO run into each other at the grocery store and send their kids to the same elementary school. The fact that there isn't much difference between rich and poor Danes show that most people in the country trust each other. Members of the royal family often ride their bikes to the neighborhood daycare center to drop their kids off there. All these things help people trust each other, which is one of the most important parts of a safe place. And that's all, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.